Hey everyone, welcome back to the Errant Venture. I'm your host Steve. So if you guys have heard the rumors lately, there's talking about rebooting the Star Wars franchise. They want to make, I guess this would be considered a sequel to the sequel trilogy. In regards to Rey would be having a kid. Rey would have a son. The son would be essentially conceived through the Force. If you remember in The Rise of Skywalker, during their battle with Palpatine, Kylo Ren, who is now Ben Solo again, because remember, Rey saved him, Rey got him back to the light, Kylo Ren became Ben Solo once more. So Ben gave up his life force in order to save Rey. And in saving Rey, he died. So by giving her his life force, they are saying this somehow impregnated her through the Force. It wouldn't be the first time we hear about someone being conceived through the Force. It's very similar to the story of Anakin Skywalker being conceived through the Force, except in this case, they're saying, hey, the father is Kylo Ren or Ben Solo. And that's a little bit more believable than, Palpatine somehow impregnated, Anakin's mom, or that the Force just kind of magically impregnated Anakin's mom. So by giving up his life force, she became impregnated through the Force and now has a kid. And what would be the plan for that kid? Assuming he's going to be Force sensitive. After all, Ben Solo is very strong in the Force. Rey is shown to be very strong in the Force. So what would be the plans with this kid? And how much of a role would Rey have? Is it something that's going to take place where, Rey's still in it and she's still a character? Or is it going to be something that takes place in the future or after the setting of Rise of Skywalker, where now the kid is older and she's not in it whatsoever? Could she be starting a Jedi Academy, very much the way that Luke Skywalker did earlier, and maybe she'll have better luck with it? That's definitely a possibility. There has to be more or new Jedi coming out there, or they can just let the whole thing fall apart. The assumption is the First Order's gone, Palpatine's gone, there's no more dark people out there, there's no more dark Sith or bad Jedi or evil things where the Jedi would be needed, and hopefully the galaxy is at peace. But that being said, who knows? So ideally, she would be starting a new Jedi Academy and her son would be her first student. But is this the right direction to go in? As we learn in the movies in Episode 8 and Episode 9, there are other Force-sensitive people out there. They say Finn is Force-sensitive. But also, what about Broom Boy? Everyone wants to know what happened to Broom Boy. We were expecting during the Rise of Skywalker to see more involving Broom Boy. You see talks at the end of Episode 8 of Luke Skywalker. Everyone's talking about him. Now people know. It's bringing awareness that, hey, Jedi exist, the Force exists, and people know it's not just a legend or a myth anymore, which to me is still surprising that it ever was. Now, you're only talking a couple years since Darth Vader's fall and Palpatine's original fall that, everyone's forgotten about Jedi. So, what about Broom Boy? What about other people outside of the Skywalker or Palpatine bloodline or saga? There has to be more. But would this technically be a continuation of the Skywalker saga? She is a Skywalker, as she proclaims, even though she's a Palpatine. Once again, it's continuing things that were assumed to be finished. But if this does continue, if this is her son, if this is all true, would this be a return for familiar characters? You still have Poe Dameron, you still have Finn, you still have Chewbacca, you have the Force Ghosts. You can see a lot of people returning. Granted, there'd be years gone by, hopefully, but you would see a lot of people returning. Is that really another wise decision? Because The Force Awakens was pretty much all made up on revisiting the past, essentially. Everyone was there. So you would see that return, and I would just hate to see Disney continuing to rely on things in the past to make their future. Granted, you are seeing some new things coming out. You're seeing the Bad Batch, which everyone's looking forward to. You're seeing Kenobi, which I've been waiting years for Kenobi. You know, you're seeing Andor, which no one really asked for. No, I don't really think anyone ever wanted to see, hey, let's make an Andor movie. No one really ever asked for a Solo movie either, but I, for one, actually really enjoyed the Solo movie. So, I guess I'm looking forward to seeing Andor because I love Star Wars and really want to see it. But I just don't like seeing them continuously going back and rehashing the past. Now, in order for this to happen, would they have to recast Rey, or would Rey just be a character who gave birth to a kid, now the kid is older and Rey's just not in it, just a story, a name? Because Daisy Ridley said that she does not envision herself returning to a galaxy far, far away. She sees herself, or essentially she sees the saga concluded and no reason, but she did have that never say never quote in there as well. So with that, who knows? I don't think she was as bad as a lot of people think. That being said, I think the scripts were terrible and you can only make so much out of so little. So the last thing I want to touch on, though, is with all those movies and all those TV shows that Disney has announced, and keep in mind, this is just a rumor of this reboot with Rey's son. This is just a rumor. But with all the TV shows and movies that Disney has announced, with all the books and comic books coming out, and with them bringing back old episodes and old series to Disney Plus, at what point is it, okay, you're milking the Star Wars coin just a little much? There's a lot of Star Wars out there, there's a lot of stories to be told, but we can only take so much. And eventually they're going to try to loop this all together, and that's how they're going to make it. Kind of like, you know, a cinematic universe where everything, you know, collides and coexists. But if you think about it, there's talks of the Old Republic trilogy, Andor, Ahsoka, The Bad Batch, Kenobi. That's 5 things right there. You still have Mandalorian Season 3, the Book of Boba Fett. You have a lot of things. That's 7 right there. So this would be 8. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing more things. And that's not even to mention what's happening in the books and stuff like that. So a lot of Star Wars. This would definitely be a lot more wood on the fire. But I just think at some point we're going to get sick of Star Wars like we were a couple years ago before they started making it good. So that's all I got for today. Once again, this is the Errant Venture. You can find us on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.